Hello and welcome back to another Wheel Wednesday. I'm getting over being sick, which been like a week or something. Somewhat of a reason why I didn't do voiceover last week, but also no time. Anyways, for this week, the prompt was by Recreatorlist, or I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Recreatorlast. Anyway, their prompt was given to me on YouTube, and it was, can you draw something sci-fi or cyberpunk? And now, they didn't say Wheel Wednesday prompt before that, or prompt before that, but I just took it as a prompt. It seems like a prompt. Also, I may be coughing a little bit during this. I'm not cutting it out. If you've watched other Wheel Wednesdays, you should know. I don't do any editing on the voice here. I do one take and then well, I hope it's okay enough. Anyways, I decided to go with the cyberpunk more so than the sci-fi, and then I was thinking of doing either a character, and I thought, no, I'll do something a little more atmospheric, and do also darker, since most of my stuff is like a darker fantasy-esque style or setting type thing. I'm not really sure what I'm going for here. Anyways, in this I did like the outside of a cyberpunk city that maybe has some sort of surveillance, or I'm not sure what the airships are, but I added the airships with the lights because I thought it was interesting. And then also adding like the lights and the tall towers and the smog, just to be, again, invoke that cyberpunkedness. And I end up adding like light ads, just because that's the more dystopian-y cyberpunk type future, right? Ads everywhere, on every surface. So I eventually add those in. Plus they add more light, which to me, at least, feels cyberpunky. Especially when it's on the outskirts of a city like this rather than on the inside. Blinding lights everywhere of a city. And this is more the... Not quite really slums, because there's not really anyone living here, other than I do end up adding like kind of a little shack type thing. And I added these pylons, I guess, with the red lights on them. I don't know what they would be used for. I just added them to have something to give light off, like have a reason for there to be red lights here. Maybe it's something with the power grid. Maybe geothermal something, I don't know. Maybe it's like how there's those anti-tank or anti-boat like steel traps that were put in places for wars. Maybe it's somehow like that for cyberpunky weapons, tanks. I don't know. I didn't really think about it. I just thought of add shape that has light on it, and then that's what I was trying to work on here in the foreground, was maybe another one of those but close up to show its actual scale. And also, showing it close up like that really made me think, I don't know what the heck this thing is used for, because I just stuck some lights on it, like, and it's just a steel frame. Yeah, no. I don't know. Maybe I should have thought about it more. Anyway, I then tried to make it look decrepit by adding wires all over it. Yeah, I could have added stuff like rust, but it's dark here, and the lights aren't, like, crazy bright. So I thought, probably couldn't really tell. And also, as you will eventually see, I add, like, a fire escape-esque platform to it, and that's for scale, to show that these things are actually really big. And those are the wires I was talking about. I also thought about adding like a bunch of grass that was very obvious just to show outside of city, but then I thought, wait a second. If this is some horrible cyberpunk polluted area, there's probably not that much grass, or it's just weeds that are barely hanging on. So I kind of just put a little bit of texture to show that. And now here's where I'm adding the floating light ads that I was talking about before. And at first they start off really dim because I was thinking about all the smog and the fog that I put in. And then later on I think that they are way too dim. They just look like posters, maybe with a light underneath rather than actual ads made of light themselves. So I go back and brighten those up. And now here I'm trying to add like signs of life to the outside the city walls with like big long strings of Christmas lights that would actually be like ginormous Christmas lights, but they're out there. And then here's that little shack I was talking about adding, and I try to add a little tiny person smoking a cigarette, or maybe some sort of future e-cigarette that actually has fire. Something like that. I try to just add little tiny people all over on this grassy, not grassy, but plains area, this flat city outskirts. And because it's so dark, you can barely see any of them, which is why I gave the one a cigarette. But eventually, when I do get to the little fire escape platform on the metal structure, that's where you can actually see a person for scale. Which is, why I add the fire escape thing. Which is right here, right now. So, here's the scale. You're welcome, all people who wanted to know the scale of these giant thingies. And I just put a single person on there. Just chilling. And I believe after this I just go back and add a whole bunch more lights to the background city. From all the ads, the airship things, light up the fog some more. I'm pretty sure, yep. And I'm doing it on a color dodge layer because extra light. And I did think about adding some sort of robot enforcer type to the flat plains area in front of the city, but I kind of thought of that like after I already did all this video stuff before, doing the voiceover. So yep, John's done. John's done too. That's for next time if I do something like this. I have to remember to put the robot in. This time it just gets multiple sky blimps that are shining spotlights down on people trying to sleep. Because they're very nice and sweet. Yeah, that's I think that's really it. I'm just going around adding more lights. Because I can't have you thinking that this is just some random totalitarian compound thing. Gotta be showing that it's cyberpunk with ads. That's what makes it cyberpunk, right? Not the technology, it's just the ads. Yeah, I know some stuff about cyberpunk. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening to this Wheel Wednesday rant where I don't plan on what I say and watching this art. I think I coughed 3 or 4 times while turning off the mic, so hopefully, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye. Bye.